Hello, star lovelies. It's a great time to be a soul. Today we're talking about
One of the reasons why this year is so fiery is that there is an explosion, if you will, of fiery energy. And there's a shift into airy energy. So we're moving from these watery signs of Pisces and the earthly signs of Taurus, and we're moving into, when I say we, I'm talking about these big outer planets, are moving into air signs. So Pluto just moved in November from Capricorn to Aquarius. So we've got Neptune next, which is what I'm talking about right now, moving from Pisces, which is water, into Aries. We've got Saturn moving from Pisces into Aries in May. We've got Uranus moving from Taurus, which is an earth sign, into Gemini, which is an air sign, in July. So we move from these very stable. Think about the earth is extremely stable. And then we move from water, which is pretty stable, right? Like it has viscousness in it, it's got fluidity in it, it's got some weight to it. And then all of a sudden we move out of these very, densely tucked in energies into these kind of free-for-all, airy, fiery, explosive, fueling, awakening, igniting, opening. I mean, it's not positive or negative, it just is. And so when I'm looking at Neptune moves from one sign to the other about every 14 years. So Neptune is moving into Aries on March 30th of this year. And when he's moving through the zodiac, that is talking about how he is revolving around the sun. It takes him 165-ish years to go all the way around the sun. And so that's why he spends about 14 years in each zodiac sign. And so this zodiac sign he's just been in was his own zodiac sign. It was Pisces. He loves Pisces. He gets along with Pisces. He understands Pisces so much. He's like moving and grooving in Pisces. They're both about intuition and healing. They're both about spirituality. They're about romance and compassion and sweet, tender nothings. They're both about art and about creativity. And so they're about media. And that's more Neptune than Pisces, but still we can look at that connection there. And so he's like exalted in the sign. He's like, yay! He has so much affinity to it. And now he's moving into Aries. And I got to tell you, he hates Aries. Aries destroys him. Aries takes that big, beautiful, yummy energy, and it's just a bitch slap. Honestly, it's like, "Bah!" And it's almost as if he's taken a big cold plunge or he's jumped off the deep end and he's like, what is happening right now? Because when he's in his own sign of Pisces, you can kick it down the road. It's not mine. I don't have to take responsibility for it. It doesn't have anything to do with me. There are plenty of other people to deal with it. I'm just going to go sink over here and I'm too overwhelmed and I am going to just, pamper myself and be indulgent and I deserve this. I'm entitled. I'm special. I am all that and I can do whatever I want. Yeah, that's the downside of Neptune. Neptune in Pisces doesn't have any consequences. It's no big deal. It's no big deal if I watch Netflix for 42 hours in a row. Nothing bad will happen. It's no big deal if I don't feel like doing anything because no big deal. It doesn't matter. It's totally fine. And now all of a sudden, Neptune wakes up and he's like, holy crap, what have I been doing for the last decade and a half? And so you've heard me before say it's just like that, Spicoli in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He's out there smoking the weed in his van in the parking lot, not having a care in the world, just watching the world go by and saying it's totally cool. Doesn't matter. Everything's fine. Steps out of the van on March 30th of this year because he's pushed out of it. It's like almost like the van just crumbles like all down, like whoosh, just evaporates. All of a sudden he's standing in that parking lot and he's looking at the high school and he's looking at the kids in high school and he realizes he's 30 years old and he's still in the van in high school and he still hasn't graduated. That's what this energy is. It's not easy to look at things in stark reality. And that's exactly what's happening. The rose-colored glasses come off. All blinders get let go. We can say to ourselves, we want to know the truth. We want to know what's real. We want to be super honest. We want all the clarity in the world. Do we really? Do we really want to know everything? Do we want to know every single aspect of ourselves? Do we want to look at the good, the bad, the ugly? Do we want to know how we've done really well, but what we've totally screwed up? Hello, Neptune and Aries. Yep, we get to see everything. Oh, and guess what? We can't look away and we can't unsee it and we can't stop watching. So, hooray! Here we are. Neptune shocks you into reality. That's exactly the energy. Now, I can say in the world, the last time that this energy occurred was the Civil War in the 1860s. The time before that was, yes, not awesome either. So we're just not going to be talking about that right now because, yes, let's keep it personal. Let's keep this about you. You can read my blog article on all of this. I go through all the timing. I go through the history. I go through what happened in the history. I go through, I literally piece it out. I say, okay, here's Neptune, here's Aries, here's Neptune and Aries. And then I go through your star chart. So you actually can look at your star chart and you can see where Neptune in Aries is going to be for you. So you can know what house it's in, and those are behaviors, right? It's the same sign because it's Aries. It's like, oh, great, Neptune moved into Aries. But what does it mean? Well, I tell you literally house by house. So it's how you show up in leadership in the first house. It's all about your finances in the second house. It's all about defining your voice and showing up in visible ways in the third house. It's about nurturing yourself in the fourth, taking risks in the five, developing routines in the sixth, making commitments in the seventh, reclaiming your power in the eighth, becoming a seeker in the ninth, following and really knowing, living your soul mission in the 10th, embracing your big soul lesson in the 11th, and diving deeply to recognize your gifts in the 12th. I'm going to go ahead and put that article in the show notes because I don't want to revisit that. I don't. You've got it. It's a tool you can use. It's free. I'm more than happy. I've already written it. It's already out there. It's already for you, and to be able to roll up your sleeves and say, okay, how am I going to actually embrace the reality? Where is my truth bomb going to occur? And you've got about a month to look at that and say, okay, well, this is my truth bomb. What can I do? And March is a really great month to let your soul lead, look at your heart's wisdom, to get out of your mind, get really great clarity in how you can align with you and your soul, because that's going to be super helpful. I also have your Star Strategy Center that's on my website that you can go to kimwoods.com/forecast, and you can get blog articles, you can get reels. It's like one-stop shopping. You can bookmark that and you can get all the things that you need, because this truth bomb is not going to be comfortable. It's not going to feel awesome. And we just had Pluto stirring everything up for the last year and a half. And so that was icky. And now we get this. It's like, oof. And guess what? This is like Supermax because it falls on the heels of Pluto, but then it's a portent, it's a future window when Saturn then hits Aries in May. So good news, bad news. We've got another month and a half-ish where we can kind of muck around and not really do anything. But once Saturn hits Aries and then those two kiss at the beginning of February, it's like, ay caramba, there's no stopping the tenacity, fortitude, discipline, commitment that you're going to have to make this right. Whatever it is that you deem to make right. It might involve some healing. It might involve some releasing. It might involve some realigning. It might involve a complete yard sale and a completely different trajectory. Only you'll know, and only the stars will be able to give you some information on that. So what I want to do here, after all that lead in, what I want to do here is I want to look at the combination of like the layering that we're having. So the month of March, we've got layers of retrogrades. We've got Venus, the windows to the world, shutting all the shutters down and creating mirrors so you're only looking at yourself. Excellent. Then we've got the eclipses, which I want to talk about the second half of the eclipse, ecliptic pairs, one on the 14th of March, one on the 29th of March. And those are like a stitching across. It's almost like playing hopscotch from 6 months before, 6 months in the future, 6 months before, 6 months in the future. And you're kind of doing this kind of tile hopping and saying what was revealed and what was hidden for each one of those. And how can I stitch those together in order to be able to take a leaping jump to experience myself in a true nature for me. Yay. And then we've got Mercury going retrograde in the month of March. So that's like another confusing element to this soup. And then we've got this last part of the eclipse the day before the March 30th, Neptune into Aries. So eclipses are times when you've got the ability to reveal something to yourself, to set intentions for the next 6 months, to really harness some magical lunar power. And that feels really good. And yet there's something that's been hidden in a prior eclipse, and there's something that will be hidden in this one. And yet I'm not sure how much we'd be hiding in this one, because the very next day, it's literally almost 12 hours. It's actually 13 hours to be precise. 13 hours later, we get this blast of reality. Now, I'll tell you, Neptune's huge, right? So Neptune isn't like, you wake up, look at the time. You wake up at 7:58 a.m. Eastern time on the 30th of March, and then ding at 7:59, and when Neptune enters Aries, shaboomba, this next thing happens, right? It can happen that way, but that's more of a Uranus thing. That's more of a Saturn thing. That's more of a Mars or a Pluto thing. That's not typically a Neptune thing. But it is kind of an Aries thing. So it could be true, but that would be much more in the collective than in a personal scenario. So we've got time to get ready. Let's get ready. I like literally, I'm like moving my hands right now. I'm holding my head. I'm like, I so want to get you ready. Like, this is my jam, guys. This is my mission. My mission is to have you live your soul mission, right? And honestly, Neptune in Aries isn't going to feel like it's helpful for you in your life mission, because it's going to be like, fuck. Yeah, I did just swear. I've been trying not to do that on the podcast. Well, boom sauce, I just did it. Because that's what this is. So when I look at the combination of the 29th of March with that new moon, so it's a partial solar eclipse. It's in Aries. It's at 9 degrees for that new moon. 9 is wholeness. 9 is that we've ended something, we're beginning something else, which I just adore that. And then I look at this, Neptune star chart in Aries, and there is so much support. We've got this little mini triangle that supports us. So Uranus is here in Taurus, asking you to, look at your core strength. We've got Saturn in Pisces that's looking at how do you create your dream? How do you prioritize yourself in that dream? And then you've got Mars in Cancer that's been driving us nuts since last September, but he's actually cooperative right now. Like, give the guy a hand. He's cooperative today. So yay, he wants a little shout out. But he's saying, how do you commit to yourself deeply? Wow, right? Like, holy crap, let's look at that. How can that get us ready for this Neptune in Aries? Well, I'll tell you, it is like an awakening in that you're seeing for the first time since 2011. So again, we can explore the last 14 years, or we can say, you know what, we're starting here right now. There's been some good things, there's been some not so good things, but here we are today. We're giving ourselves permission to be here, and this is a starting line. And so now what's next? Well, let's come alive. Let's get ready for the world. And I want to do it through your superpowers, and I want to do it through your energetic signature. So if you haven't taken that 12-question quiz, go ahead into your starmaptosuccess.com, answer the 12 questions, and come back here, because I'm going to lay out your superpowers. I'm going to talk about what your delusion is, and then I'm going to talk about how you can harness this wake up in positive ways. So for you, wise strategist, you are a secret leader. I mean, I can't emphasize that enough. You're a leader. And what will hold you back, your delusion, is that you need to know everything and you're a perfectionist. So the 80-20 rule will work. You've heard me say this before. Your biggest wake up superpower, excellent magical tool, or even practical tool is to ask questions. When you ask the right questions, your pathway is revealed. When you just seek answers, it's revealing a pathway, but is it the right one for you? Start asking the right questions. For you, intuitive visionary, you are a secret powerhouse, but you delude yourself thinking you need to be ahead. And you need to be the genius. You need to be the most brilliant one. So you're going to go exploring new things, and you're going to just, be like that scythe, just like literally scraping down the pathway, like just knocking it down for the future. But you've lost everybody, or most of everybody. They don't know where you are. And so that jumping around doesn't do you any good. You want to really harness Neptune and Aries, slow down and go back 3 steps. Go back to a time when things were really in the flow for you, and then see what you can stitch from that time frame and bring it forward into now. It could be a topic you were talking about. It could be something you were doing. It could be a practice that you had that was really helpful for you to just slow down, take your time, and let people catch up. For you, collaborative explorer, you're a secret rebel. And yet you people please and you put people way before you. And that's maybe a lifelong thing, or it may be just during times of stress, but that's definitely something that you have. And so it's masking your ability to be that collaborator in this new era. It's so key for you to be shining in that way. So you're going to need to disrupt the flow, disrupt the process, throw an elbow or two, and that's going to really help you for the next 14 years. For you, ruling warrior, your secret is that you are super fun. You have a great sense of humor. You love to laugh. You love to play. You love the energy and vitality and the spice of life. And yet you've been overachieving. You've been going after that next success and that next success and that next success. And you've lost pieces of yourself along the way. So how do you regather yourself? That is the question for you. How do you let go of the reins? It might be something where you delegate. It might be something where you just let go of something. It might be something that you just give up the next summit and you really enjoy where you are now. But for you to take a look around and think about, how can I have frivolity, levity, some just breath in my life that will make me be more sustainable, is really the question for you. For you, creative superstar, you are a natural connector. You know that in your influencing ways because people tend to follow you and you don't really know why. But one of your things is you don't want to be tied down. You think that any sort of commitment is going to stifle you. So you want your freedom. I can 100% respect that. However, you're actually being trapped by chaos and by not showing up and by disappointing opportunities. And so when you plan and you schedule and you allow yourself to take full advantage of connections, that's when you become the star that you want to be. And that's when your creations are really out there in the world and it's like your legacy. That's when you leave your legacy. And for you, loving alchemist, you're a secret enchantress. And so you're an alchemist. In your name, you're a magician. You can turn things from what they are into gold. And you can actually do it through your energy. And so that has been misunderstood. And so there's been times when you haven't been connected and feel like you belong. So you go into things with the expectations, I'm not going to belong. So you hold back. And so for you to reach out to others, to form your own community, to create your own stage, I've been talking about this all through 2024. That is magnificent. The world absolutely needs you now. Literally, it's your time. It's everybody's time. But what you crave craves you, and so you can achieve it. So you using Neptune and Aries is about you owning your power and creating your own place so that you are at the center of it and you will always belong. And so when I look at Neptune and Aries, there's 20 different lenses that you can look through. If you've heard my forecast at the top of the year, you heard one lens. If you heard other podcasts like the Magic Triangle or some of the monthly, especially the March forecast, you're getting another lens. All of these lenses matter. We're talking about a massive energy for us for 14 years in a sign that is no joke. So here's a different lens. You can go ahead to your Star Strategy Center at kimwoods.com/forecast. You can listen to the other podcasts that are in the show notes, whatever is in the flow for you. I want you to be able to get this information for your mind, but really I'm speaking to your soul. This is an opportunity to get this energy as an imprint for you to make it easier to navigate through it. So, as always, thank you so much for listening and sharing with friends. Please rate, subscribe, review. Let's let this magic unfold and allow others to be on this path too. There's another thing with Neptune and Aries. There's going to be so many people on the spiritual path. Yay! So, until next time, happy soul tidings.
Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more ways to use the stars strategically to align with your soul purpose, reclaim your power, and increase your prosperity. Please rate and review your favorite episodes, and remember to check out my website at kimwoods.com for my latest forecasts, articles, and offerings. To find out your intuitive success signature, take my 12-question Do You Know, Like, and Trust Yourself quiz and find out how you're living your stars at yourstarmaptosuccess.com. I've so enjoyed our time together, as it's filled with the power of the stars plus strategy to clear the pathway to your success. Until next time, happy soul tidings.